So,
Not one you forget.
are you a Concord resident?
Yes.
I'm pretty obnoxious.
Awesome. How long have you lived here?
At every event, I'm like, hey!
What year is it? 2019?
Yeah.
12 years.
Okay.
How long have you been in
When and where were you born?
I was born in Orange, New Jersey, in 1973.
Confusing students. They'll be in there like,
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in North
I'm so
Jersey,
confused. What are we
in a
doing?
town called Rivervale. Two
What was
words.
Rivervale.
Yeah, V with a V.
Oh,
Rivervale.
okay.
Yes.
What was it like growing up there?
It was quite boring and just like any other town, maybe 4,000 people.
Yeah. Okay. Where's your mom's family from? Like ethnicity, like French or German or?
They are. That's a good question. They are.
I didn't interview them. I interviewed
I've recently been doing my family tree,
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
actually a really good question.
that one?
But
And then-
we're gonna
there we
say,
go.
Yeah.
I would say Jersey, Pennsylvania area.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
really
And then
bad,
where
guys.
was your dad's family from?
Pennsylvania, southern Pennsylvania, Maryland
Okay.
area.
Awesome. What is your ethnicity?
Okay, so I can tell you specifically what my ethnicity
Okay.
is.
That's awesome.
It is, I am approximately 25% of my genetics are from the UK. About 28% of my genetics are from Nigeria. About 25% from Sierra Leone. And other areas like a little bit of Eastern Africa
You've hit
and
every
North Africa.
continent.
I know.
Except Australia. Literally,
Yeah,
you've
except
hit every
Australia.
continent.
There's a tiny bit of northern, like Nordic DNA, because apparently there's some Nordic DNA that mixed with the UK,
Oh.
and so that all comes from up there.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, so that's
Wow,
pretty
that's
much
really
about
cool.
it. Yeah.
So, have you ever been to any of those places?
I've been everywhere except those places. I haven't been to the continent of Africa, and I haven't been to the UK. Although I plan on going to both those places.
Have you been Sri Lanka?
No. I've been to like China. That's the closest I've been. It's the only place in Asia I've been to.
Did you
And
know,
so-
like, you were from those prior to? Did you?
No.
I'm assuming you did a DNA
Yeah.
test, right?
Yeah. I
But you
found
had
out
no idea.
recently. Had no
Oh.
idea. Yeah, had no idea. And I was trying to figure out how it was 25% from UK when I don't see anyone like that was even remotely like that in my family. But it was mixed race, generation after generation. As I did more research, what was happening is you would find, what they would refer to as mulatto, or I think that's what they were. Anyone that was 50-50, but they were marrying. There was like I had great grandparents that were half and half that were marrying another great parent, and it just kept going down half each generation.
You got something from
Yeah,
everywhere.
so it just kept passing down. It was basically the same genes just being passed down. So yeah, that goes about 4 or 5 generations.
Oh wow,
back.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And then when you found that out, what was that feeling like, knowing that you're like that big of a percentage?
Yeah, it was. I wasn't expecting to see 25%. My last name is Cromwell, so I know that I eventually somebody came from England, but 25% was crazy. I couldn't believe it. But then I was like, okay, that explains things, because I do like metal and stuff that. So whatever. So. Yeah.
So, what brought you to Concord, New Hampshire?
Concord was looking for. So I actually moved from Jersey to Manchester.
Oh, okay.
And just looking for a place that was a little quieter and kind of on the up. So Concord just happened to be one of those places that just seemed to be. It was city enough for me,
Yeah.
but still without kind of the extra stuff that Manchester was kind of
yeah, I know
starting
what you
to
mean.
get into. And our daughter was 3 at the time, and we were looking for something for her, like a place that we thought that was going to be, and it's convenience. Like there's a highway that splits it, so that's cool too.
How is living in Concord different than what you expected, if it is different?
Let's see, how is it different than what I expected? I don't think I had any expectations.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a very my whole thing is if I keep my expectations low, my disappointment is low too.
That's what I always say.
So, and I've lived in so many different places. So I've lived in busy places and places out in the middle of nowhere, and I find that there's cool things in different places. So I'm very adaptable to things. I think it was pretty much. I've been so many places. I can kind of drive through a place and get a sense of what it's like. So it hasn't been much. I don't think anything's really been different than what I expected. I think it's kind of exactly what I expected. Exactly, it's turned out to be really what I was looking for and really what I expected. So.
That's good. Yeah. Has anything surprised you about living here?
I think. Probably, maybe what surprised me is how well people get along in the area. I know that sounds kind of weird. There might be a better way to.
I just said that.
Yeah, I know what you're getting at.
Yeah, but it's like there's very few instances of people rubbing each other the wrong way. I don't see a lot of stuff happening in the schools as far as like, it's not like a lot of violence or groups or anything like that. It seems like everyone gets along, and people are polite, and it's interesting when you have, as you talk about diversity, you have different people that are from different places that bring different things, but it doesn't seem like a place that people don't have to be afraid to be who they are. I think where I'm from, there is still a lot of segregation where, not like it's forced, but people tend to feel better around their own kind.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so you have people that don't really understand other people.
Yeah.
So you have these groups of like this whole town is just that particular ethnicity, and this whole town is this. And I felt sometimes that even in New Jersey, as a minority, being in a place where there was other minorities other than me, that maybe I didn't feel welcome there because they're like, well, they don't really understand us, that type of thing.
You're right.
But you have places where people never moved off their block or never moved out of their town, and they just don't. They kind of latch on to what negative things they see. So if somebody's attacking their group, they feel like everyone's out to get them. So if they don't know people other than themselves, they tend to be kind of like not social with people other than themselves. So that's a cool thing around here is that I don't feel like we can have a multicultural fest right here, and it's not like we're not saying other people can't partake. No one feels weird if they come here and it's not specifically for them. It seems like everyone tries to really without sort of any friction or anything like that. So that's surprising.
Agree.
That's I try to explain that to people. It's like they think because I'm from an area that there's more diverse that it's better, and in some cases it's worse. Because with more groups, you have groups. So there's not enough groups here that there's not enough of a minority here to have a group, like a big group. But you can't have like a whole area of one particular ethnicity. Whereas you can have that like places like in Brooklyn and stuff. It's like there's always been a lot of racial tensions between different groups because they don't intermingle, and it's like you get to a certain block and that's the divider between this group and that group.
I totally know.
It's crazy. So, I try to. It's really kind of it's not a fun thing to talk about because people are like talk about like I've seen a lot of bad stuff.
No, but it's an important thing to talk about.
Yeah,
it's not
absolutely.
Always
It
doesn't have to be sunshine and
it doesn't. But if other people can feel okay, like I've never felt like I had to stay in a group. So I'm always wandering, which is why I'm always like the odd man in every room. I'm like the weird person. But some other people, they don't want to they feel comfortable around their own, and it's like it's all right. Just go out. People, your own people can have a problem with you, just like someone else. It doesn't matter. So.
So
That answered the question.
yes, it did. Thank you. You mentioned that you had a kid. Is that your
Yes.
only child?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
How
as far as I know.
old are they? And what gender?
15. She's 15. She goes to Concord High. My daughter's named Jordan.
Oh. What is your goal as a parent?
Oh, my goal is to get my daughter to 18 without dying. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Like, and really serious, you know. So it's like she's starting driving lessons now. So I'm just trying to get over that part. But really keep her alive because I'm glad to be alive. I made it past 18, and then at that point, just to keep her head into academics and just get through the college thing, and then the hard part comes, you know.
Yeah.
But those are my two goals. Keep her safe, alive, and then keep her and this way, when I'm gone, there's still a little piece of me running around doing stuff. So.
What is your definition of happiness?
Oh boy, that's a really hard definition of happiness. Because I'd be a really, really happy person if I knew the definition. I would just do that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm an artist, so I think just creating something artistic for other people to be able to enjoy. So your art kind of leaves a imprint on things, whether it's music or photography or art, painting, and it's there forever.
Yeah.
So if you have something hanging on the wall, if you have something streaming on Spotify, it's there for people to interact with. So I think that's what makes me happy, is that in a way you're not, there's a lot of people that are kind of anonymous and in the sort of average person doing average stuff. I work in an office during the day, so all the people I work with are average people that walk in, they kind of, you know, walk very slowly in, and they do their miserable job, and then they walk slowly out, and they go home and they watch TV all night until they're a day older every day. And I find that to be, like, once you're not here anymore, who recognize you for being the person that sat at a desk?
What impression did you
right,
leave?
exactly.
Yeah.
Even though, I mean, I do it too, but I also want to do other things that people can, you know, like, people can anonymously say, oh, I'm listening to this song, who's that artist? I don't know who that is, but that's really cool.
I totally get it.
Yeah, so you're like putting, I guess, like artists people that I listen to, their music that they're dead already, that they've been dead for decades, they're still, to me, they're still there.
Still being remembered.
Right, they're still there. So I think that's, to me, happiness is just putting stuff out, making a random stranger smile or say, oh, that's really cool, or say, I like that. Because I think that's how we interact with each other as human beings.
Okay.
I think. That's a little abstract, but it's so.
What is your greatest fear?
Dying before I make some sort of permanent mark on the planet. And I think, like I said, my talent is art, so I feel like I was here for that. There's some other people that are like really good leaders and they could like be president and stuff. That's not my thing. So the people who can do that should do that. And the people like me that can interact with other people and leave their art places. So my fear is like not finishing the things that I have in mind that I want to do. You know, not getting a chance to do that. That's pretty much it, because we all have, you know, we have this little tiny time here. So yeah, that's pretty much
Leaving your mark.
Yeah, these are questions I've never thought of before. So
And what is your greatest hope?
My greatest hope is that we would stop killing each other. Like,
Good one.
it's
Yeah.
it's something I've seen. It seems like it never goes away. So when I was young, I remember the first election that I remember was in 1980, and it was like Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter and stuff, and it was
I just wrote AB on
very strange because I don't want to get political, but I remember Ronald Reagan talking about, well, we had to give money to rich people so that we could let it trickle down. And that whole trickle down thing came, and it affected me for like my whole life. And it affected how I voted for my whole life. Because I'm like, I don't know if that doesn't make any, like as a 7-year-old, I was like, that doesn't really make sense. It's just gonna come down somehow. So,
Yeah.
But again, I'll get off of that subject. But
That's okay.
I think what was the question again?
What is your greatest hope?
Yeah. So with that, and being aware of stuff outside of me, and be aware that there's people making decisions. I remember seeing kids fighting in the schoolyard. I turn on the TV and read murders and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And it's like you get 1 year older, and it seems like it never stops. And it seems like now it's like I'm on YouTube and someone's posting a video of someone fighting in school, and it's like, oh, it's the same stuff that was happening 20 years ago and 30 years ago and 50 years ago, and it's like I wish we would just stop fighting, and I wish we would have with politics the way it is, with people arguing with each other and taking sides and just hating the other side because they're not your side, to me is ridiculous. That election, I think, was the first time that really people stopped talking to each other. They just took sides, and it became
rather than just having a conversation.
Yeah. So it was. I wish that we would stop hating the same people that we live. Like we're all Americans. We're all either from Concord or New Hampshire or America, right? So it's like I shouldn't hate somebody who's from Alabama, and they shouldn't hate me because I'm a northeasterner, a northeastern liberal. Which
this entire experiment is like getting at.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah.
That's all the questions.
Oh, okay.
So
cool. Those were
thank
cool.
you
that was
so
fun.
much. Yeah.
No problem.
Answers were awesome.